Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's Redevelopment Commission meeting. We're going to begin this evening the same way we do every Redevelopment Commission with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Thank you very much, folks. We are officially in order somewhat. As far as attendance goes, we are only missing Dr. Taylor this evening. All the other members are present. And I believe we have seen a copy of our minutes. So I would entertain a motion on those minutes for the commission. Those would be dated October the 10th of 2023.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of October the 10th, correct?
And I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second. All those signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That carries. Takes us on to old business. I do not see any old business on our docket, so we will move straight into new business. First item up is the Cedars Pledge Resolution, and I believe we have some finger pointing in the audience. Realty Link. Claire from the EDC is going to join us at the podium. Thank you very much.
Claire Gelinas with the Boone EDC. We've been working on this project for about a year and a half now. This is a 115-acre site approximately. It's already zoned industrial and it's rail served, so we think this is a really good asset to the community to go ahead and development. And we've got a great partner, Realty Link, here too. They're happy to answer any questions about the timing, and I will defer to Rob for the bond discussion, but I'm also happy to answer any questions in regards to the Boone EDC's role too.
Perfect. Any questions for Claire? So with that, do we want to, Realty Link, would you guys like to say a few words maybe?
Good evening. Greg here with Realty Link. Thanks for the time tonight. Just a little bit of background. As Claire said, we've been working together with the city. Great partners. We're really excited here. Our goal is to still close this year. We've got a couple pieces to put into place yet after this final approval. If the weather would cooperate, we'd consider still breaking ground this winter. Otherwise, ground break in the spring. And we would start with the first building off Tyree Road, just from Highway 39, and work our way across Tyree, as well as we are in a position to sell 20 acres kind of towards the southern portion of the site, and they will begin construction on that piece right away as well as part of phase one. And then we'd come in behind those are 154,000 square foot buildings along Tyree Road, and put in the 270,000 foot buildings next, which would be phase two. And then behind those is about a 330,000 square foot pad that would be part of phase two as well. So timing wise, it's really hard to give you guys an exact timing. Our goal at this point is, we're praying to get through this in 5 years, but it's just really hard time right now to be able to judge that for sure, so.
Market's in great shape. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just keep spending. We'll be good. Any questions from the commission for Realty Link? All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm excited about the opportunity. 150,000 square foot buildings are huge for our economic development. So very exciting information.
Thanks.
Thank you. Rob, do you want to read us in officially?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, Commission. We also have Annika and Sam here from Baker Tilly. If you have any questions for them, they'd be happy, I know, to answer those. So I'll read Resolution 2023-11. is a resolution that pledges certain tax increment revenues from the Cedars at Lebanon allocation area to the payment of economic development revenue bonds. On November 13, 2023, earlier this evening, the Lebanon Economic Development Commission approved and recommended that the City of Lebanon issue in one or more federally taxable or tax-exempt economic development revenue bonds pursuant to a trust indenture in the maximum aggregate principal amount not to exceed $8,500,000 for, again, the purposes of procuring funds to pay for the cost of the construction of certain public infrastructure improvements that are located on the 2 John Shaw Road and Tyree Road at a cost to the developer in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. It is expected that the city will issue bonds, and the proceeds of the bonds will be made available to the developer pursuant to a financing agreement. In order to finance the project, the commission has determined that it is in the best interest of the city and its residents to pledge 90% of all real property tax proceeds generated in the allocation area and deposited in the allocation fund, less annual fees in connection with the administrative of the bonds, and those are the TIF revenues. Therefore, be it resolved that this commission finds that the pledge of the TIF revenues to finance the construction of the project will help accomplish the plan for economic development area and will promote the economic development of the city and the economic development area. The Commission pledges the TIF revenues to the payment of the debt service on the bonds for a term of years not to exceed the term of the bonds. So long as the developer is a registered owner of all or any portion of the bonds, the Commission may not issue bonds or other leases from the TIF revenues, and this resolution shall be effected upon its passage.
Thank you very much, Rob. Any questions from the commission for any of our parties, including Baker Tilly? So,
I'd like to hear from Baker.
you want to hear from Baker
Yes.
Tilly?
I'd like to hear you talk.
We're excited you're in the audience this evening.
Yeah, they need to
Step
talk.
right up.
They're here, they need to say something.
Hi, Annika Sinekin with Baker Tilly. Yeah, with these bonds, as mentioned, there's Phase 1, and then there's also Phase 2 and 3. So the Phase 1 bonds are issued for just Phase 1. And then there's a bond that will be issued next year for both, for the Phase 2 and Phase 3 bonds. And as mentioned, pledging tax increment finance, and for each of those, the commission will pledge 90% of the tax increment revenues that are generated from these projects, so.
Good deal. Any questions on that explanation and how it's kind of broken down? Given the current rate environment, that's probably a good option for us as far as breaking down Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, so. Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that on the table, I would entertain a motion then in regards to Resolution 2023-11.
I recommend approval of Resolution 2023-11 as read.
So we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second?
We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. That moves us on to our next item of new business, which is the Patterson Street Pledge Resolution. And I believe we're just going to go ahead and read this one in, right, Rob? Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. President. Commission, this is a very similar type of process. This is a resolution of this commission pledging certain tax increment revenues from the Patterson Street allocation area to the payment of economic development revenue bonds. On November 13th, earlier this evening, the Lebanon Economic Development Commission approved and recommended that the city issue economic development revenue bonds pursuant to a trust indenture in a maximum amount not to exceed $700,000. Again, for the purpose of procuring funds to pay for all or a portion of the costs associated with the construction of an approximate 72,000 square foot speculative industrial building and other related improvements on or located at 320 North Patterson Street within the allocation area. The developer is Patterson Street Partners LLC. It's expected that the city will issue the bonds, and the proceeds of the bonds will be made available to the developer. In order to finance the project, the commission has determined that it's in the best interest of the city and its residents to pledge the real property tax proceeds generated in the allocation area that's defined as the TIF revenues. The commission finds that the pledge of the TIF revenues to finance the construction of the project will help accomplish the plan for economic development area and will promote the economic development of the city and the economic development area. The commission pledges the TIF revenues for the payment of the debt service on the bonds, and again, so long as the developer is the registered owner of the bonds, the commission may not issue bonds or enter in leases or have any additional pledges from the TIF revenues, and this resolution shall be effective upon its passage.
All right. Sounded very familiar. Thank you, Rob. Do we have any questions from the commission? I was actually just past this building earlier today. They've come quite a long way with it. I saw some parking spots even painted, so call that a win. So on that, we would entertain a motion. This is Resolution 2023-12.
What's the number?
12.
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve the Patterson Street Pledge Resolution 2023-12.
We've got a motion to
I'll
approve
second it.
and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. And the next one up on our list, we have the favorite one of mine, the State Road 39 Bridge Inspection. Mr. Kevin Krulik.
Thank you, sir. What we have before you tonight is actually supplemental agreement number 7 that goes back to a 2014 agreement that this body entered into with USI Consulting for the inspection of the architectural features that are mounted on the State Road 39 bridge over I-65. Back then, this bridge had to be inspected, I believe, quarterly, and about a year ago, we were able, almost 2 years ago, able to get that requirement waived and moved into a standard 2-year inspection cycle. So this supplemental agreement number 7 before you is for for USI to complete that inspection work in 2023, done here before the end of the year, and then also it includes a second inspection in 2025 for that next every 2-year inspection. I can't remember what you call that. Biennially, annually, something. Anyway, 2023 and 2025 inspection cycles for the architectural features attached to the 39 bridge. The total is for $60,000. That includes $29,000 for the inspection in 2023 and $31,000 for the inspection in 2025. Keep in mind that the inspections are that expensive because this involves a closure of a lane of travel on 65 so that they're not working over moving traffic. So that's what's before you tonight. So this is the 7th amendment that you've had before you on the same subject.
Just curious, what would it cost if they did work over a lane of moving traffic? Does that go up or down?
I don't believe the state will allow you to do that.
Got it. All right.
want that.
Noted.
You
Darn
might say,
engineers.
why? Well, what happens when someone drops a hammer into moving traffic?
Yep.
Bad things happen, so
Goes downhill quickly.
it does, yes.
All right. So we are looking for authorization of the supplemental agreement number 7 and giving me authorization to sign as president, correct?
Correct, thank you.
So, and that would be an amount not to exceed $60,000. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve supplement number 7 for the State Road 39 bridge inspection for USI Consultants.
And are you good with my ability to sign on behalf?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please do, he says. All right, so we have the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. It's my favorite autograph of the year. You know that, right, Kevin? All right, folks, I think that concludes our new business items. That takes us right down to the claims, and I would entertain a motion on paying our bills.
Motion, we pay claims?
Got a motion to pay? Do we have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Claims are paid, and the favorite one of the
Make a
evening,
motion, we adjourn?
we've got a motion to adjourn. Dramatic pause to the second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, we are adjourned. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be on December the 11th. Thank you.